In New York, on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, Kaduna State Governor Sani didn't hold back in an exclusive conversation with Arise correspondent Adesuwagiwa Osagie. He spoke candidly about the deep trust deficit between the government and communities, warning that insecurity cannot be solved by force alone and without tackling economic despair and marginalization. And with 4.8 billion naira deducted monthly from Kaduna's federal allocation, he says the state has no fiscal space left to borrow. Now, Governor Sani breaks down the misunderstood non-kinetic approach, the harsh economic realities, and his plan to help rebuild hope in Kaduna. Take a look.
I want to know what's the difference between your fight against insecurity and the tactics that you're using than your predecessor used. I believe he once said that you should carpet bomb the forest where the terrorists were hiding, but you have said that you cannot use only a gun to fight terrorism.
Only about 2 weeks ago, the UK government just moved Kaduna from red to amber, and you will agree with me that we've been in red since January 2022. And of course, the UK government, not only UK government, many other development partners, some countries that we are working closely with them have since moved Kaduna from red. UK just did their own about 2 weeks ago. And of course, that is a major sign of progress. And of course, for me, what we are doing is very simple. It's not a rocket science. When we started, we made it clear that you cannot win this battle using only kinetic approach. When I said I'm going to use non-kinetic approach, it's not about negotiating with bandits. That is a problem. People misunderstood our approach. That was the reason why we remain focused. And now today I'm happy because we remain focused. Now we're seeing the result because you cannot address the issue of insecurity not only in Kano, anywhere in Nigeria without carrying the people along. So what we did, we realized that there were a lot of trust deficit in the past between successive governments and the people that were involved, whether the bandits, whether the communities, whether the religious leaders, community leaders, because you cannot do that without them. When I was in the National Assembly, I sponsored the creation of state police in Nigeria. Why did I do that? Because I realized that we can never address the issue of insecurity with what we have in place right now. When you come to northern Nigeria, where I come from, you leave Kaduna to Zamfara, to Katsina, to Kebbi, to Sokoto, you will see a lot of ungoverned spaces. When I was in the Senate, we kept talking about the problem. Because when you look at this issue of banditry, insurgency, and kidnappings in the Northwest, when did that start? It started only around 2015 and 2016. And what were the reasons? You have to look at what are the symptoms. If you ask me, the answer is very simple. It's a matter of economic crisis. People were completely excluded, issue of poverty, hopelessness, and many other factors that contributed to that. Now, because that was the reason. When I came as a governor, I looked at the situation and I went to the frontline local governments. It's not about using the kinetic approach, it's using both.
I would say one of the standout lawmakers in the House of Representatives is from your state, Honorable Bello Arufai. I wanted to ask about your relationship with him because he is also someone who has sponsored a bill for state police.
I don't want to personalize issues here because when I was in the National Assembly, I worked with Bello Arufai. He was my SLA, and he is doing extremely well in the National Assembly today. And I've no doubt in my mind he will go along and doing a lot. He's making us proud, I must say that, because not only the state police bill, I remember when I sponsored the state police, he was working with me as SLA. And today, in the House of Reps, he also dusted and came up with the bill.